All Alone, Not by Myself, a complete screenplay by Matthew Ford. Interior, Cristyn's house. Bedroom, day. Cristyn, 50s, thin and pale, lies awake in bed. The only colour on her face is the dark circles around her eyes. She's frightened, her breathing quiet, trying not to make a sound. She listens for something, but the house is silent. The bedroom is dark, the only light coming from a tiny gap between the curtains. Cautiously getting out of bed, Cristyn puts a dressing gown over her pyjamas. Cristyn's house upstairs hallway, day. There's scarcely any light in the hallway. Cristyn's barefoot steps are soft, careful, making no noise. Going downstairs, her eyes search the shadows. Kitchen, day. The blinds are drawn, no light comes through. There's a tower of dirty dishes stacked in the sink. The bins are full with rubbish and empty packets strewn across the work surface. Cristyn creeps towards the sink, trying hard not to be heard. She reaches for a nearby glass that looks vaguely clean and places it underneath the tap. Cristyn turns the tap just slightly, a trickle of water coming from it, barely heard. She stares at the glass, worrying, wanting it to hurry and fill up. A figure stands in the hallway, the silhouette of a man, hunched forward, lifting his head. He faces Cristyn, stares right at her. Cristyn drops the glass in the sink. It smashes, breaking into shards. Not moving, Cristyn is petrified, not knowing what to do. Slowly, meekly, Cristyn opens the door. Stood at the doorway is Andrew, fresh-faced, early 20s, with gelled hair and a bright, cheery smile beneath his nose. He wears a t-shirt, jeans, and an ID card hanging around his neck. In his hand is a clipboard.
Mrs. Hughes?
Yes?
My name's Andrew. I'm from the rents team at Cardiff Council. It's about your housing benefit.
What about it?
It's been stopped.
I don't understand. How's it stopped?
Is it all right if we talk inside? It is important, Mrs. Hughes.
All right.
Cristyn's house, living room, day. Like the rest of the house, the living room is dark, the curtains closed. There are unopened letters, boxes, newspapers, and knickknacks piled high. Dust hangs in the air. Andrew glimpses round, not sure what to make of this.
Council tax sent you a form for your single person discount. Unfortunately, as the form wasn't returned, your housing benefit stopped.
They cancel my housing benefit, just like that.
You were sent several letters.
A floorboard creaks upstairs. Andrew frowns, while Cristyn tries not to look afraid.
Is someone else here?
No, just me.
And you live alone, is that right?
Yes. Since my husband, he...
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to upset you.
No, it's okay. You're all right.
Mrs. Hughes, your housing benefit isn't cancelled, it's suspended. We can get it paid and have it backdated. I've got a copy of the form here. All you need to do is sign and I'll hand it in. Your housing benefit could be up and running by the end of next week.
He holds out his clipboard and pen. Cristyn snatches them, scribbles on the paper and shoves the clipboard back at him.
Well, thanks very much for your help, Andrew. You're a godsend.
There is another issue, Mrs. Hughes. You're affected by the bedroom tax. You may have seen it on the news. Well, you live alone in a two-bed house. Because of the bedroom tax, housing benefit no longer covers the full rent, leaving you with £14.25 a week to pay.
This is my home. I've lived here 30 years. Lowry grew up here. My life is here. There was no bedroom tax when my husband and I moved in.
The bedroom tax was introduced in April, Mrs. Hughes. The government in Westminster, not Cardiff, put this through. Sadly, the council's hands are tied.
How much do I owe?
As of this week, £156 and 75 pence.
£150? It can't be that much. Can't be.
It is, Mrs. Hughes. You've been charged bedroom tax every week since April. The rents team have tried phoning you. We've written to you, knocked. There's been no answer.
There's a crash from the kitchen, glass smashing, like something was knocked and shattered on the floor. Andrew flinches, eyes fixed on where the noise came from.
I'm not discussing this anymore.
Is everything okay?
I want you out.
Interior Cristyn's house downstairs hallway day. Scraps of newspaper cover the floor. Not an inch of carpet can be seen. Andrew makes his way towards the front door, Cristyn hot on his heels. She keeps glimpsing behind her, worrying, scared of something.
I've lived here longer than you've been breathing. I won't pay your wretched tax. You can write in your clipboard, send me letters, take me to court. I am staying here. Don't come round again.
The moment Andrew steps outside, Cristyn slams the door. Living room day. Cristyn collapses into the armchair, buries her head in her hands and weeps. Later, her eyes are bloodshot, cheeks stained with tears. The circles round her eyes are now charcoal black. Upstairs hallway day. The dark sludge seeps from the small gap in the panel to the loft, dripping down. Bathroom. The same oil-like substance dribbles out from beneath the toilet seat. Kitchen. Black slime comes up through the plug hole, steadily filling the sink. Living room. Sat in the armchair, Cristyn gets cold, rubbing her arms. She panics, looking in every direction. A pair of hands, smeared in thick black grease, appears from behind the chair, long bony fingers with veins pressing against the skin. The hands grip tightly into the armchair. Understanding appears on Cristyn's face. She's terrified. A man's head, 50s, bald, emerges from the top of the chair, followed by two intense eyes and a large pointed nose. He snarls, his mouth lined with jagged yellow teeth. Black sludge drips from his face. Standing straight, the man's naked torso is revealed. Hideously thin, his bones look ready to tear through his flesh. Like the rest of him, he's covered in dark ooze. The way he moves is slow, coiled. His breathing is booming, heavy, more like a lion than a human. Skeletal fingers run down Cristyn's face. She lets out a sickened moan as the black smear appears on her cheek. The man rests his head against hers. He's enraged, shaking. With his wild eyes staring right through her, he makes a rasping, guttural snarl. Cristyn shuts her eyes, biting her lip, trying to stay quiet. There's a knock at the door. Cristyn struggles to stay calm as she opens the door. Andrew stands outside. No clipboard this time. He gives a weak smile.
Mrs. Hughes, I'm sorry about earlier. The council, we're not monsters. We just want to help. Are you all right? Is someone else in the house?
Squeezing past, Andrew steps into the hallway.
Don't!
Andrew stops by the doorway to the living room, his back to it, Cristyn opposite him. Speaking to her, Andrew keeps his voice down.
Mrs. Hughes, is someone hurting, threatening you?
Cristyn cowers, trembles, resembling a frightened child.
You don't have to say anything. Just give me a nod. Is someone else here?
She looks up, her eyes gazing at something behind Andrew, something in the living room.
My husband.
Andrew is thrown. Then he hears deep rumbling breaths, like a massive creature is close by. A dark drop of oil trickles from Andrew's forehead, past his nose, across his lips, and creeps down his neck. Andrew is frozen, too afraid to turn round. We focus on Cristyn as Andrew is heard being wrenched off of his feet and dragged into the living room. Andrew screams, those screams turning to suffering cries, the sound of bones and cartilage being twisted and snapped. Cristyn watches, unable to move. Andrew crawls out of the living room, legs and torso hidden from view. His face and clothes are drenched in blood. Looking at Cristyn, he silently begs, pleads for her help. Cristyn is rooted to the spot. There is guilt and despair on her face, like she is saying sorry over and over. A harsh, deep growl breaks the quiet. Andrew is pulled back into the living room with force. He lets out a pitiful cry, which is soon silenced. Nothing. No sound. The house is still. The end.